Thank you for your support, everybody. And with that said, I want to bring in our special guest. So why don't we all say hi to Lori from Lori's Soul Circle? Can you hear me okay, Lori?
Yes, I can hear you.
How are you doing?
Oh, good. Good, as we're sitting on the edge of not only 2025, as we were just saying, but on the edge of the first quarter of the 21st century.
Yeah, quarter century's done in the books. We did it. How did you like that new intro music?
Oh, I liked it.
A little bit different, right?
A little different.
Well, everybody, I think everybody in the live stream who's with us tonight knows Lori, but if you don't, she runs the channel Lori's Soul Circle, and I dropped a link to her channel in there. Be sure you're all subscribed already. But Lori, let's take a peek and see who is in the chat before we start chatting too much. I see first in line was our friend Mike. Hey Mike, how is it going? I just saw you over at Daniel's live stream, so it's very good to see you. I'm glad you're here. And oh look, Lori Soul Circle is in the chat. You're sneaking in. You're multitasking, right? And Daniel is here. Hello Daniel, how are you? And everybody's favorite Debbie Sue is here. Hello there, ma'am. How are you doing and how have you been feeling? It's so good to see you. I was just watching your channel this morning. So great to see you over here. How awesome. And everybody, my dad is here, and Lori just got up and walked away, but that's okay. She's probably getting a drink. Oh, glasses. She wants to be able to read the chat. So my dad's here. Hello, Dad. And Tyler's here. Everybody, if you haven't had a chance to go over and watch the Outdoor Tennessean this week, make sure you're not missing out on what he's doing. And our favorite Grizzly Warrior is here. How are you doing, ma'am? I'm going to mention you in a little bit. I've got some comments about you in a little bit, and I think you'll want to wait around for that, so don't go anywhere. Who else is here? I see lots of folks here. You like my Scottish tartan shirt here. This is bought from Lori's neighbors, believe it or not. This shirt is from LL Bean, which is up in Maine. That's right. Yeah, so let's see. Is there anybody else I'm missing? I know you guys are having a nice big old conversation, which is awesome. Here's a link from me. I don't know if you noticed, I changed my profile picture today. I just liked that picture I took and said, hey, I'm going to change my profile picture. And it's got the Florida flag on my head up there. In case you're wondering, that's a Florida flag, not some other kind of flag. Hello, CL. Long time no see. Also hanging out in Daniel's live. And let's see, I think here's my ADV 360. How is it going, my ADV 360? Are you on a KTM 360? Is that why your channel's called that? Or is it something else? You're going to have to tell us about yourself, my ADV 360. If it's not a KTM, now I guess a KTM would be a 390, wouldn't it? You'll have to tell me. Don't know. Oh man, the chat's just flying by, so I'm not going to be able to say hi to everybody. Oh, but look who's here. Granny's here. Wait, where's her chat? I saw somebody say hi, Granny, but here he is. Here he is. Hello, Granny, with her champagne glasses of love. And look, oh, John, it has been a long time since John jumped into the chat. You've been avoiding us, sir. I'm glad you're back. John from Jacksonville is one of my old co-workers. John and I go back, I want to say we go back to the 90s as co-workers. It is so good you made it again. It's been a long time since you were able to make it into one of our live streams, buddy. He was actually one of the very first people to join one of my live streams when there was like 3 people on. John was on. And Pearlman, you're just making the rounds. You're all over the place, my friend. So I'm glad everybody's in and got a chance to say hi to everybody, and everybody got a chance to say hi to each other. So Lori, real quick, what do you think about 2026? Going to be a thumbs up or is it going to be a thumbs down year?
Oh no, it's definitely going to be a thumbs up. And something about this past year, 2025, I have just felt definitely a little bit different in the sense of I feel very connected this year to people, almost like I can see the energy that they're feeling. I can see even some of, I guess, just I don't know if tiredness is the right word, because I don't necessarily mean tired because you haven't had enough sleep, but I just think from everything that's going on in the world. I think people have sort of had enough. And instead of always looking outside of themselves for how to make themselves whole, I see them turning inward. And so I think that's a big step for 2026 is for me personally, not only going inward even more, but helping others show them how to open the door inward versus always outward and looking outside themselves. But maybe what they feel is missing in their life. So 2026 is definitely going to be a year of significant change. And even with some of the lives that I've participated in over the last few weeks, I hear some of the same comments, some of the same stories, how whether they want to, or they want to turn it into a business, or they're just looking to do something more with YouTube. So and if there's anybody on this particular live or somebody who sees this video later on, one of the things that I always like to say to people is when you want to do something, whether it's YouTube or there's something in your life that you want to go after, ask yourself why. You need a strong why, because when, let's use YouTube as an example, when the viewers don't come or the subscribers don't come, or you're just not growing the way you want to be growing, as long as you have a strong why, the how-to and the fear maybe of, like, say, doing a live, it doesn't take center stage as long as you can connect with your why. So for all those people that say, 2026, I want to, try something different with my channel, or my only suggestion is why, and connect with it and have it be a strong why. And it's never about a thing. It's never about, well, I just want a business because I want more money. I say go deeper, because it's not about the money. Money is only, a tool. It's only energy. It's never about the money. Or even, well, I want to get a house. It's not about that either. You got to keep going deeper and asking yourself why. So that was probably a long-winded answer, Scott, but
No, that's a good answer.
yes, I feel 2026 is going to be different.
It's a thumbs up. Yeah, that's good. By the way, I apologize for those of you who are getting some echo on her for a minute there. When I don't have headphones, I'm not using my AirPods or headphones, so I'm hearing her voice through my speakers, and it's probably going through the microphone. But there's a little checkbox in Ecamm Live, which I'm using for live stream, that says use echo cancellation. And I checked that, and most of you are saying that it's working well now and that it's fixed. So please let me know if it's
Is there something I could do, Scott, to make it better?
No, it's on my side, because I hear you in my speakers, and I got your mic. I got my microphone right here. I took a cue from Rob and put my microphone up here, so now it's not blocking me, as long as you guys can hear me, and it seems like it's been fixed, so that's good. Catherine made it. Hey there, how you doing, ma'am? It's already New Year's Day where Catherine is. She doesn't have to wait. It's probably been New Year's Day like 12 hours already in New Zealand, right? Yeah, I was going to say it's already is. Yep. Yeah, no doubt. And I don't know who 1439315 is, but nice to meet you. Very glad to see you here. It says it'll be a challenge to earn more income to offset inflation. So, hey, Catherine, glad you made it. Very good to see you in here. And Lori, you had made a post on one of your own videos, and I want to ask you about that. You had said, we're standing at the threshold, friend, that sacred space between what was and what's coming. The last Sunday of 2025. This is right before your live stream, I think.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but this year feels different for me. There's something about 2026 that feels like a doorway we're meant to walk through intentionally, which is kind of what you were just talking about. And then you talk about this this idea that January is like wet cement, or cement if you're from the South. And in these days, we get to imprint our intentions before the year solidifies. I really wanted to hear more about that. If you could talk a little bit more about that idea of walking through a door, crossing over the threshold of 2026. Is there anything else you can think of about that topic to add to it?
anything to add from what I just said. I guess the doorway is like an analogy, right? It's just who we were in 2025 and who we want to set our intention to be in 2026. And I think it just goes in line with, again, the other analogy of January being like wet cement. And what I mean by that is, and first, let me say, you can make changes any time of the year. Actually, I just did a video back, I think in September, saying I feel like September is a good time to make changes too. But for most people, January represents like a clean slate or um, just being able to start over, right? Just offers a lot of possibility to folks. So that's what I mean by that. And so wet cement, we all know what wet cement is, right? If you have grandchildren or your children, you've all made those like garden stepping stones, or if you've done something at your house or whatever, right? You put your initials in wet cement. And that's kind of what January is, right? You go and you set your intentions because the cement is wet, right? You set your intentions, you decide who you want to be, and from there, you create your goals. And there is a difference between intentions and goals, at least in my mind. This is all, Lori's opinion, is that your intention is like the compass. It's where the direction you want to go. The goals are like how to get there. To say, well, I want to, I don't know, get 5,000 subscribers. And I keep bringing this back to YouTube because it's, we're on YouTube, but, I want 5,000 subscribers. The question is, who do you need to become to get those 5,000 subscribers? Or I want to start a business on YouTube. Well, who do you need to become to be able to start that business? And I speak from experience here that if you do not change who you are on the inside and who you think, if you don't change the identity of who you are on the inside, then you will self-sabotage yourself to try and to reach that goal. And that's a lot of times why people stop their goals. Usually they say by the second Friday of January, I think is what research has shown. And it's, again, I think I used the analogy before. I use the example of if you want to go to the gym every day, or you want to lose 10 pounds, or you just, want to build more muscle. If you don't see yourself as that person, then you will not follow through. It just is. Or you want to build a business and make, I'm just using arbitrary numbers, $100,000 from YouTube, let's say, but you've never, say, made more than, half of that. I think it's hard. I think if you don't see yourself as able to be there, then again, that self-sabotage will come back in. So that's what I mean by that. So January is wet cement. It's a good time to set the intention because I'm all about the feelings, and the feelings is what helps us receive. And I won't get too far into all of that, but you got to have the feelings. And because January, there's a lot of feelings with most people of, like I said, possibilities and freshness and a clean slate, and anything's possible in January. Everybody feels that way on January 1st. Everybody, it just, you're turning the page, if you would. So that's what I mean by that. And you got to set the intention then while you have those feelings of, hopefulness and all of that before you get towards the end of January where you're like, okay, well, I haven't followed through on this, or this didn't happen, and all those negative things start coming back in. So that's what I mean by setting an imprint in wet cement.
We got Sally's D Reality has joined the chat. How are you doing, ma'am? It's nice to see you here. I dropped a link to your channel as well, and some new faces that we haven't met before. So that's the cool thing about these live streams is we get to make new friends, right? Lori and I were talking about before the way that we met was I stumbled across her channel and mentioned it, I think, in one of my live streams or something, and I guess she saw that. Is that what happened? You saw that I had talked about your channel?
Yeah, because I believe you cut them up into shorts, and I saw that
Yeah.
short.
Yep.
So
Yeah, cool. and I was just looking at that. What was that channel? The My ADV 360, and he's got a ton of shorts. He's really rocking the shorts game. So I dropped a link to his channel in there. You guys can always go back and look at this chat after the fact too. I leave the chat up on this live stream every time it's over. Um, Speaking of that, Lori, you had made a comment on one of my videos. You said, and we're going to run out of time because Zoom's going to cut us off because I'm on the free plan. But you said, I went through a rough patch back in 2020 when I started seeing things for the way they really are, not the way you want to see them. It drained me, to be honest. So I had to make a conscious decision to start changing the way I look at things. Can you talk a little bit about how you can intentionally change the way you look at something as opposed to letting the way you look at it control you?
Just that. If you look, there's miracles out there every day. There's beauty out there every day. And I think we walk by it. And it's certainly easy to get bogged down, especially in 2020. I don't need to go back there, of what was happening. And there was a lot of personal things also going on in our lives, in my family's life, that it it did for a little bit consume me into a really dark place. But you know what? You can reframe that. And that's something I've gotten very good at. And now I say, okay, God, you want me to learn something. There's something I need to learn here. And then you make that choice every day. You make a choice until it becomes habit. And it does become habit. But you make a choice to go outside and look for something beautiful. You go and you find something to be grateful for, because you can't be, I guess, you can't be grateful and complain at the same time. You just can't. So you go out there and you find something to be grateful for, whether it's, I don't know, uh, warm slippers, right? A cup of coffee. It doesn't have to be, a big thing. Back then, I remember purposely going out into my garden and just looking at, you know, just how my garden was growing. And I've always done a garden for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. But that year I spent a lot of time in the garden. Obviously, we were all working from home. And it really got me to thinking when I was planting, whether it was the tomato seeds or the cucumber seeds. And when you look at these tiny little seeds, and then like this, I don't know, I'd get like 25, 30 cucumbers off of one vine. And I'd just find the miracle in that, like this little essence of a seed, right? And it produced 30 cucumbers. And to think that, okay, if God can put 30 cucumbers in this tiny, tiny seed, what do you think he put in all of us? And it's something like that, that you make the conscious decision to go out and look for the good, because there is good everywhere. And, one of my favorite mentors is Wayne Dyer. I mention him often. And one of the things that has really resonated with me that he said was, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. And that is 100% true, because I am proof of that. I mean, it was, again, it was a really dark place in 2020. And I was able to get myself out of that just by reframing things, looking for the good, and just really trying to understand that we all came here with a purpose. There isn't one person that has not come with a purpose. And sort of that's the reason I even named my channel. And I don't know how far you want me to go, Scott, so just tell me to move off. But the reason I named my channel what I did is because, I guess everybody's interpretation of what a soul is, right? Some people, it's very religious. Some people, it's very woo-woo. Some people, maybe it doesn't have a meaning at all. But to me, my soul is the part of me that never ages, the part of me that is always with me, the part of me that, if I can get quiet enough, will actually guide me and help me make that right next step. And the other way I look at it is, it's almost like a spark of the divine, right? I feel all our souls are a spark of the divine. It's like a drop in the ocean. If the divine was the ocean, we're all a drop in that ocean. So we're independent, but yet we're all connected. not just to the divine, but everybody out there, just like a wave, you know. So, but that's one of the reasons I named it Lori's Soul Circle. And the circle just is whole, right? We're all whole. We're all whole when we come here. We're all worthy when we come here. Um, we don't need to look outside ourselves for that worth. No amount of things or money will make us feel worthy. We are already worthy. But that's how I came up with Lori's Soul Circle. So.
That makes a lot of sense. I was wondering exactly what you were trying to say. Maybe you explained that in a video, and if you haven't, maybe that's something you want to make a video about. Have you talked about that?
Yeah.
So it looks like Mike's Adventure Sparks invited Sally over, which is very generous of him. Very nice. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And where did I see a nice little? Here we go. Grizzly said, "You can't go for a walk in the woods without coming out having a better mindset." I couldn't agree more. You can't help going into the woods and coming out with a better mindset, whatever the woods are for you. And for some people, if you live in a city or something, sometimes the woods just have to be a city park, and you may still hear the horns honking and you may still smell the city, but just get your eyes on something green, for a half hour sometimes is all it takes. But you want to do as much as you can, as much as you can get. So, Lori, it looks like Zoom is going to let us talk for about another minute and a half. Any final thoughts for 2026? I'll try and have you on again in the future, too, so that we can do this because, I'm not going to give these people more money for Zoom. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that rabbit hole. But final thoughts.
No, I guess the only thing I would want to leave folks with is identify what you want for 2026 and then identify if there's a gap, right? Of who you are and who you may need to be to achieve that. And you don't need the whole plan. You just need to take one right step. That's it. So I think that's all.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining. I know that Zoom is about to just yank us right out anytime now, but I am so grateful that
all right. So I'll see you on the other side then,
yeah,
Scott.
Exactly.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Now you can go over and watch the live stream and join in the chat, and you can all keep talking to Lori as much as you want, So thanks, Lori. Appreciate that very much. We got to have more guests on. It's very